Hi guys, it's Laura here. I'm at home sheltering in place just like the rest of you. And I've had a lot of people ask me how I make my yogurt. So I thought I would take this time to do a little tutorial for all of you that want to know how to do it. So the first thing, you need to know what items you need to do it. It's not hard and you don't need a lot of specialized equipment, but there are a few things that will make it a lot easier. First and foremost, you need your milk for making the yogurt. I have a preference for Strauss Organic. They come in a nice glass bottle, so you're not creating excess plastic pollution, and the bottles are recyclable. You take them back to where you bought them and you pay a deposit and you get the deposit back. But that's just my own personal preference. You can use any kind of nice milk that you like. It can be low fat, non-fat, whole fat, whatever, or a mixture. It doesn't matter. The other thing that's really important, you need a starter, which right now I have yogurt that I previously made, and that I keep aside, and that is my starter for the next batch. So I'm sure you're thinking, okay, I don't have yogurt that I made. What do I do? It's really easy. It's not a big deal. You just need to buy any good quality yogurt. You can get it at any of the stores. I've gotten it at Safeway, Sprouts, wherever. But you want to make sure that it's organic and that the only ingredients are milk and your cultures. It can be whatever cultures that they use in it. It doesn't matter. I've used various brands and it's always worked for me. So just make sure no fillers, no carrageenan, no gelatin, no sugar. You want plain, just basic yogurt. It can be Greek, it can be regular, but you just want the yogurt, the milk, and the cultures. That's it, nothing else. So another thing that you're gonna need, you have to heat up the milk. You want to kill off any pathogens and any bacteria that might be in the milk to begin with, because you're going to add in your own cultures and you don't want other things growing on top of what you're adding in. So you need a nice pot. I have this one that I bought strictly for making yogurt, because I learned in the past if I use just my regular soup pot or Dutch oven, it gets the flavor of things that you've cooked in it, like beef roast or things like that are garlicky and oniony, and you don't want that in your yogurt. That's not going to taste really good. So I have a pot that I use strictly for my yogurt. You can use a function on an Instant Pot to boil it, but I haven't had good luck with that. Usually when I've done that, the milk tends to burn on the bottom, and I just didn't like that. So I like doing my own milk in my own pot, and then I put it into the Instant Pot. Okay, so besides these items, what you need too, you need an instant read thermometer, because you need to be able to tell the temperature of your milk to make sure that you're getting it hot enough. And then later on, you need to make sure that it's cool enough that when you add your culture in, you're not killing off all the good bacteria. So this is a very important thing to have. After you make your yogurt, you're going to want to strain it, because it's pretty watery and there's a lot of whey in it. And I mean, unless you want a really, really thin, almost milk-like yogurt, like they would tend to use in Scandinavia and places like that, you're probably going to want to strain it. So again, I have a strainer that I use just for doing my yogurt. I don't use this for anything else because I don't want it getting flavors from other foods that could be savory or whatever that will flavor the yogurt. And then you need some nice clean cheesecloth. Those are the basics. And then I personally like using an Instant Pot, but I've seen recipes where you do it in just a regular crock pot. That'll work too. I mean, it's really up to you what your preference is. I'm not saying go out and buy an Instant Pot. It is really easy and it works really nicely, but you don't have to do that. You just need to have something that you can keep the milk at a constant warm temperature so that all the cultures can build and the little bacteria eat stuff in the milk, and they grow and they grow, and that's what makes your yogurt thick. That's what cultures it. So those are the things that you're going to want to have. Okay guys, we're ready to make some yogurt. So the first thing I'm doing, and first of all, this goes without saying, everything should be clean. You want to wash your hands, make sure your pots, your utensils, everything is all clean. I've done that. I'm not going to put you through watching me wash my hands. You guys all know proper ways to cook and be clean in your kitchen, so I'm not going to lecture you on that. But you want to make sure everything is clean before you get started. You're just going to pour your milk into your pot. I usually do 1.5 of these bottles. It seems to fit really nicely in my pot, and it also is about the right amount for in my Instant Pot that I use. If I do more than this, it's going to be a little bit too much and it's a little unwieldy. So that's what I'm doing right now. And at this point, I'm just going to turn this on a really high heat, and I am going to get this heated up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's really important. I don't know why, but the recipe I use, it said you want to get it to 180 degrees. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm just going to be watching it in this pot, and I'm going to be checking it with my thermometer periodically. You don't have to stir it all the time and watch it every second, but do keep an eye on it because you don't want the bottom to get burned and get kind of a crust on it. That'll make your yogurt kind of, I mean, it won't make it bad, but it's not as pleasant. So I would try not to do that. So at this point, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch a pot boil. That'll take a little while. So I'll be back when we're ready for the next step, when we're done with bringing the milk to 180 degrees. Guys, I'm back. We've got our milk that has come to 180 degrees. So now we're ready for the next step. And what I do, I have my Instant Pot is here ready to go, and I take my inside liner out, and you want to make sure that it's clean. And then what you're going to do, you're going to transfer your milk into this liner pan. So I'm going to very carefully pour this because this is really hot. It's 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So it'll burn. Okay. So there we go. And then what I do, in order to kind of self-sanitize this inner liner, I just carefully swirl the milk up around, making sure not to slop it out of the pan, because this milk is 180 degrees, so it's gonna kill any bad things that might be in the pot that soap and water would have mixed. So that's all that we need to do at this point. Now we need to wait and let this get down to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit, because if I put in my starter right now, I would kill it and we would get no yogurt. We would just have weird sour milk, and that would not be very nice. So we're just gonna let this set for a while. And if you wanna speed it up, you don't have time to let it set, you can always put it in an ice water bath. And I have done that many times in the past, because a lot of times I forget about doing the yogurt till late at night, and I want to get it done and be able to go to bed. So I don't have the luxury of letting it sit for, 2 hours or so for it to cool down. So what I end up doing is I put it in an ice water bath, and it cools it down much quicker. And then I can put my starter in. So I'm going to take another little break for now. We're just going to let this set and get down to temperature so we can put the starter in, and then we'll continue on with the next step from there. Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, so my milk has cooled down. It's below 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're ready to put in the starter. So what I'm going to do is I just have some of my previous yogurt that I made, and I'm going to put a good spoonful of it, so probably, I don't know, like 3 or 4 tablespoons worth. I'm just gonna put that into my warm milk mixture. And then I'm gonna take a whisk and I'm just gonna whisk it around so that I get it all distributed and all mixed in, because I don't want it to just sit there in one big lump. So just getting it all mixed up. And once you've done that, you're ready for it to go into the Instant Pot. So I've got my warm milk mixture. It's in its pot. I'm gonna put it into the Instant Pot and I'm gonna put on the lid. And I am going to make sure that my lid is vented because we're not doing a pressure cook here. We're just using this to keep it warm for an extended period of time. So you can use either a pressure cooker like this, an Instant Pot, or you can use a crock pot, but you want something that'll keep it warm for a long period of time. So I'm going ahead, I'm venting, and I am going to turn this on. I'm gonna hit, there's an actual yogurt button, so I'm gonna hit that, and I've set it for 24 hours. That may seem kind of long, but what that does is if I get delayed or something happens, it means the machine's not gonna turn off and the yogurt's gonna sit there and get cold and get weird. So I just go ahead and I set it for the 24 hours and I let it go, usually for about 12 to 16 hours. So at this point, I'm just gonna let this go until tomorrow morning and then I will proceed with the next step. I'll take the yogurt out and I will let it drain. So I will see you tomorrow and we will continue on with the last step. We are back. It's now the next day and you can see my yogurt's been in there for 19 hours. I was a little lazy today and didn't get up as early and get going as quickly as I thought I would, but you know what? It's all good. That's why I set it for the 24 hours. That way if I can't get to it, it's okay. So here I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna show you. Here's what we have. You can see there's solid in there and then there's the liquid whey, and that's why we're gonna strain it because we wanna get rid of that excess liquid. Okay, so you can see I've got my strainer and I've put a bowl down inside my stainless steel bowl to prop up my strainer, and I put the cheesecloth in and I've just ladled all of the yogurt in, and you're gonna let this just sit and drip for as long as you want, and that's it, you're done.